bitter criticism, just training. But today, now I'm going to read the Russia Today. What the Russians are saying about stuff. What Russian people are saying about the news about this very day. This is funny because I guess Trump he was presenting he used to present he was to show a he used to be a journalist. I don't remember the host. Yeah, the host of a TV show where he was firing people, and now says May 1st, 2025. Trump fires Mike Waltz. I don't know who is Mike Waltz. Fox Deputy National Security Advisor Alex Wong has reportedly been dismissed as well. And there's a photograph. National Security Advisor Michael Waltz looks at his phone. This is the photograph. And he prepares for TV interview at the White House on May 1st, 2025. U.S. National Security Advisor Mike Waltz has been fired, Fox News reported on Thursday, citing its sources. The White House has not made any public comments on the issue. Waltz was among the National Security Council's quote-unquote other staffers who got caught in the latest quote purge. In the latest purge, the broadcaster said, adding that his deputy Alex Wong had been fired as well. The media outlet did not name the exact reason for the move, but pointed to the criticism for the National Security Advisor faced over his role in the so-called quote-unquote Signalgate scandal in March. At the time, The Atlantic reported it had accessed as internal chat involving members of U.S. President Donald Trump's administration who were discussing attacks on Yemen's Houthi militants. The leak was then attributed to Waltz, who mistakenly saved the contact of the magazine's editor, Jeffrey Goldberg, under an incorrect name and then sent him an invite. The National Security Advisor later admitted his mistake in an interview with Fox News. Quote, "I take full responsibility, but I built the group. Its embrace is embarrassing. We are going to get to the bottom of it," he said at that time. When asked about Waltz's potential dismissal earlier this week, White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt told Fox News that, quote, "We are not going to respond to reporting from anonymous sources." Trump himself told journalists in early April that certain National Security Council members had been fired following the incident, but maintained that there were few of them. and that he still trusted the team. That he still trusted the team. Politico identified Trump's special envoy, Steve Witkoff, as a quote-unquote leading pick to replace Waltz. The official has been instrumental in Washington's efforts to facilitate the peace process between Russia and Ukraine. He has visited Moscow several times lately, including for talks with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Last month, the media outlet also reported that U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance and other senior officials suggested that Trump fired Waltz over Signalgate scandal. Back then, the president reportedly agreed that Waltz had quote-unquote messed up, but decided not to dismiss him. Trump had previously downplayed the controversy as quote-unquote witch hunt and questioned the reliability of Signal. He also maintained that no classified information was compromised because of the leak. I don't know what happened. I will try to see what happened to this leak, but actually it's not so interesting. Vance asked Trump to fire Waltz. And yeah, I don't care much about. I read Russia Today. This is interesting. Look. Because of the Ukrainian conflict, of course. May 1st, 2025. Moscow rules out Ukrainian return to 1991 borders. The Russian Foreign Ministry made a statement while commenting on Kiev's deadly strike on civilians at a market in Kherson region. And there's a photograph, Russia. Anyway. The Russian Foreign Ministry on Thursday said Moscow will not permit the restoration of Ukrainian territory to the limits of its 1991 borders, as that will represent the threat to Russian citizens. The ministry's statement followed a Ukrainian drone strike on a crowded market in the Russian town of Aleshki in Kherson region, which Moscow has condemned as a deliberate terrorist act. The attack occurred around 9:30 a.m. local time on May 1st, a holiday in Russia, when Ukrainian forces used FPV drones to strike the market during peak hours. According to the preliminary data, 7 civilians were killed and over 20 injured. Local authorities stated that a second wave of drones target survivors and first responders, exacerbating the casualties. Quote, "This atrocity has once again revealed the terrorist nature of the Kiev regime. The aim of the current Ukrainian rulers to escalate the armed conflict and disrupt any attempts at a peaceful settlement," quote, end quote. The Russian ministry said in this statement, adding that the attack was intentionally timed to coincide with a public holiday to maximize civilian harm. Terrible. I guess I'm going to read it again. I'm going to read more. I mean, Russian drones target civilians at busy market. Governor video. But by now, I'm going keep reading. The ministry also criticized Ukraine's backers, stating the Thursday's attack, quote, is also on the conscience of Western sponsors who supply Kiev with weapons and finances. End quote. It emphasized that Russia will not permit the restoration of Ukraine within its 1991 borders. Quote, it is quite obvious that behind the futile and groundless calls for the Kiev regime and the forces supporting it in the West for the so-called restoration of Ukraine within the borders of 1991, there is a cannibalistic instinct to exterminate all Russians. Of course, Russia will never allow such a scenario to happen, the military statement said. While Moscow and Washington are in talks about a possible ending of the Ukraine conflict, Brussels has signaled may oppose some U.S. proposals. Reported details of the possible agreement, including U.S. recognition of Russia's sovereignty over Crimea. Additionally, the proposal reportedly includes quote-unquote freezing of the conflict along the existing front line and an acknowledgement of Moscow's control over significant portions of 4 former Ukrainian regions that voted to join Russia.